Have you ever received a ticket for going too fast for conditions, or have you been in a wreck where the other person received a similar ticket? That's what we're going to talk about today, and how driving too fast for conditions plays into personal injury cases. I'm Joel, this is Chase. Welcome back to the Williams, ELLEBY HOWARD EASTER YouTube channel. So Chase, let's get into it. One of the most common tickets we see issued in car wrecks is driving too fast for conditions. So what is that?
Right, not to be confused with speeding, right? So driving too fast for conditions is kind of what it sounds like, right? If you have knowledge and know what the hazardous conditions are or what the conditions of that road may be, you just have to drive like a reasonable and prudent person would under those conditions and not cause a wreck, right? So one thing I like to think of is raining, right? Mm-hmm. Weather is always a factor, especially in Georgia. You'll get a lot of thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and things like that. So if the roads are wet and you're going too fast for those conditions, even though you might be going the speed limit, you can still get a citation for going too fast for those conditions.
Yep. It could be any kind of thing dealing with weather. It could be ice, it could be snow, it could be cloud, it could be the sun in your eyes on a bright sunny day. Mm-hmm. You know, any of those type things, if you're blaming the conditions that are prevailing at the time on the reason that you caused the wreck, then potentially you could have been driving too fast for conditions, or at least received that citation from the police officer after the wreck. But it doesn't have to be weather related. It can also be, for example, college football season is starting back. Mm-hmm. So Georgia Tech and Georgia State were playing. You know, Georgia was playing Clemson in the Dome, or not the Dome. It's not the Dome anymore. What I'm talking about, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Right, Fulton County Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, take it way back. But anyway, it could be crowd conditions, right? So lots of people are crossing the street. If somebody's driving too fast down there and they hit a pedestrian, mm-hmm. they could be driving too fast for conditions, not necessarily weather related, but event related, and just congestion and crowd related.
Oh, right, like, you know, traffic's a good example of that too, right? Just regular traffic. If you live in Atlanta, 75, 285, you can't be flying and weaving in and out of traffic because you're going too fast for those conditions. Road design, right? If you know you're coming up on a curve and there might not be a sign that says to slow down, but you know a curve is coming, you can't take that curve fast. You know, those are the conditions of the roadway as well as something you need to be aware of. So. Yep.
And so in Georgia, the too fast for conditions statute is basically a basic rule statute, and that is OCGA 46-180. And to quote that statute, it says that no person shall drive a vehicle at a speed greater than is reasonable and prudent under the conditions, and having regard for the actual and potential hazards then existing. Consistently with the foregoing, every person shall drive at a reasonable and prudent speed when approaching and crossing an intersection or railroad grade crossing, when approaching and going around a curb, when approaching and traversing a hill crest, when traveling upon any narrow or winding roadway, and when special hazards exist with respect to pedestrians or other traffic, or by reason of weather or highway conditions. So that's a mouthful, but basically what it means is you gotta be aware of your surroundings and drive at an appropriate speed for that. So if you drive too fast for conditions, or somebody is driving too fast for conditions and causes a wreck and you're injured, how does that play into a personal injury case?
Well, a couple ways, right? So the first one being, obviously, when you get the police report, you can look at the contributing factors that the police officer assigns to each driver, and there'll probably be a number under there saying that person was driving too fast for conditions. But then taking that one step further, if the person is actually issued a citation for that offense, and they go and pay for that citation or plead guilty to that citation, then you can use that in your civil case to just pretty much already check the box of we've got liability, they pled guilty to this offense, so now we're just talking about damages.
Yep. And speaking of damages, if it's severe enough, it could open you up to being able to recover an award for punitive damages. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why this is sticking in my mind, but the first thing that comes to mind is like a motorcycle weaving in and out of congested traffic, just hauling tail, going in between lanes and all that. And then if somebody's crossing the road or whatever, or if they cause a wreck and hurt somebody, mm-hmm. well, that's kind of an extreme situation that may warrant an award of punitive damages, which means damages not to compensate the person that's injured, but to punish the person who caused the wreck.
Yeah, I've often made arguments, especially when there's a citation or an indication that the person was, you know, speeding, or not speeding, but going too fast for conditions, or driving in a manner that is unnecessary, then yeah, I always make the punitive damages argument, because the punitive damages argument really boils down to willful conduct, right? Yep. And typically if someone's weaving in and out of traffic or hauling tail when it's raining, like they're willfully doing that knowing they're putting others in danger.
That's right. And sometimes somebody may be driving too fast for conditions and they don't receive a citation for it. But as personal injury lawyers, when somebody calls us and they tell us something like, hey, I was in this wreck, it was raining, or there was some kind of condition going on that would make us aware, our spidey senses would go up, I guess, that somebody should be exercising extra care. Things like the other person hydroplaned, or it was really bright, or the road seemed slick, or there was a big curve right there. Any of those type things, bring that to the forefront of our mind. Was this person, even if they were driving within the speed limit, were they driving too fast for the conditions at that time? And if they were, we're going to explore that and try to find out why.
Right. And then, to your point, it's very fact specific with each scenario, whether or not it was too fast for conditions then existing.
So. That's right. Yep. It's not a cookie cutter formula like some people would have you believe.
Right.
You have to actually take the time, interview witnesses, go to the scene, do research on weather data and things like that, event data, see what's going on to find out really what happened in that specific scenario.
Yep.
So anything else on too fast for conditions?
No, I think we covered a lot of it. So
all right, cool. Well, we hope this video has been helpful to you. If so, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we will see you next week. As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience that we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when they're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.